Hey guys, it's me, Seren. I'm back with another video. This video is a response video, I guess you could say. It wasn't certainly not a video I was planning to make, clearly, from the title. It's just a response to the Chapel Hill shooting that occurred last night, Tuesday night, where 3 young Muslims were killed, murdered. They were shot execution style, point blank in the head. Apparently the media didn't cover it for 10 hours. It's 2:10 on Wednesday afternoon, and I'm just now hearing about it via Tumblr, of course. And I've Googled it, and I've since seen, some articles. I have a Washington Post article here in front of me, but this Washington Post article was published at 12:56 p.m., so it was published about an hour ago. And these people were killed last night. 3 people. I'm going to attempt to pronounce their names. Dia Barakat, his wife, Yusor Muhammad Abu Salah, and his wife's sister, so his sister-in-law, Razan. There are a lot of posts going around right now about this on Tumblr, but I do want to say that none of the posts that I've seen on Tumblr have mentioned their ages. So Dia Barakat, the man who was killed, was 23 years old. His wife was 21 and her sister was 19. So these are kids, young people, 23, 21, 19. Murdered. By a white guy, Craig Stephen Hicks, 46. Apparently he turned himself in. And, they're holding him for murdering these 3 people. And there's all this hemming and hawing about whether or not it was or wasn't a hate crime. Their families have stepped forward. Yusor, her father, stepped forward to say, my daughter and her husband complained repeatedly about having issues with one of their neighbors. He would tell them he didn't like how they looked. And, she did wear a headscarf, a head covering, as did the sister-in-law. The neighbor would complain about how he doesn't like how they look. They've gotten into several altercations with him over a parking space. He was very racist towards them. And yet you have these media outlets, when they are finally covering it now, they're making it about this fucking parking space thing. Oh, there's no indication that this was a hate crime. Apparently it was over, long simmering tensions over a parking space. They weren't feuding over a parking space. He was upset about the parking space because they were Muslims. Like, what are you people talking about? This just complete, and there's a lot of anger about this one-sided reporting. They're giving this white guy this benefit of the doubt. They're absolutely refusing to call this a hate crime. It took them 10 hours to even report this. And this was pretty much the direction I was going to go in with my video on the NAACP, where you saw literally the same exact thing. A white male was seen putting a bomb, a device, against the side of the NAACP headquarters in Denver, Colorado. It goes off. Thankfully, no one's hurt. It's not covered in the media for days. When it is covered, it's covered as like this little small thing. Oh, we're not sure if it was deliberately set to be a bomb, and they never released the name. They never found out who did it. They never actually even looked for this person. It was just like, oh, white middle-aged male was seen with a beard or something, And this is something that we see over and over and over with the media. A reluctance to call white terrorism terrorism, an intense reluctance, especially here in the United States, so domestic, an intense reluctance to call domestic white terrorism what it fucking is. Terrorism. They don't want to do it. There's this resistance. You know? Everything is the work of a lone... If it is, you know, if they are actually fucking charged with something or written about in the media, it's the work of a lone gunman, a psychotic person, mentally ill person. Like, it's never said terrorist actions. Okay? This white guy lined up these 3 Muslims and shot them point blank in the head. The family has said repeatedly that he had an issue with them because they were Muslims. This is a terrorist act. A white person was seen by eyewitnesses setting up a fucking bomb, a device, outside of the NAACP headquarters in Denver, Colorado, and then it went off. It fucking exploded. Did anyone die? No, but that was a terrorist act. White domestic terrorism is a thing. Even these mass shootings, these school shootings, and, you know, Elliot Rodgers, who went on that killing spree in California and killed all those girls. That's terrorism. That's white domestic terrorism. And, you know, honestly, I'm going to go more in depth, especially into the Elliot Rodgers thing in my white male rage video, which is definitely coming next week, because white male rage and entitlement and racism and all this stuff goes together. But it's so crazy that we live in 2015 in a society where we have all this internet and TV and social media and all this media access and all this media presence. And we literally live in a white supremacist society that excuses any and everything that white people does, meanwhile demonizing, victimizing, and criminalizing everything that's done by people of color. Be it black people, Middle Easterners, Hispanic and Latino, Muslims, even though black people can and are Muslims. I find it really weird when I see black people buying into Muslim terrorist stereotypes, because there are a lot of fucking black Muslims. Hello, Malcolm X, what are you people fucking talking about? Not even gonna get into that right now. But it's just like so insane to me. So insane. White terrorism exists. White terrorism is a thing, you know. I saw some people say on Tumblr, if this had been a Muslim that shot, murdered, executed 3 Christian kids, 19 years old, 21 years old, 23 years old, because as I said, I keep seeing people not mentioning these 3 people's ages. If this had been a 46-year-old Muslim man that shot 3 white Christian kids, oh, it would be all over everything. Fox, CNN, MSNBC, they would be having all types of panels about Muslim terrorism and ISIS. And it's just like, and you have, over and over again, you have Muslims that say, you know, American Sniper, for example. Oh, American Sniper is making us feel fearful. You know, we've seen that American Sniper, which is American fucking propaganda. We've seen, you know, a lot of people that have gone to see American Sniper and then they've, like, written us awful things on Twitter and on social media. Or, you know, after the Charlie Hebdo shooting in France, we've seen a rise of anti-Muslim sentiment in Paris and here in the United States. And the media just kind of, like, oh, waves it off and throw their hands up in the air. And now you have 3 Muslims that have been murdered by a white guy, and there's this reluctance to call it what it is, a hate crime and a part of the white domestic terrorism that is really a hallmark of our country. It's the calling card of our country. You know, going back years and years and years, white terrorists wage, you know, a war against people of color. Be it the white people fucking bombing churches, be it the white people trying to keep the black people from, you know, integration, be it the fucking genocide that's being waged against young black people right now, but well, and old black people and every black person by police officers and by the government. Be it the anti-Muslim sentiment and this terrorist rhetoric that's being waged. be it the gangster thug narrative being spun by the media. This is all a form of terrorism, and I wish that somebody would say it, would admit it. It's driving me fucking crazy. It's driving me really insane. It is. It's sick. It's disgusting. So may these kids rest in peace. You know, it's horrible. These kids, 23 and 21, they just got married 6 weeks ago in December. And now they're dead. They're dead. Why? Over and Washington Post wants me to believe that it's over a parking space. Sick. Sick. Sick fucking world. That's it.